while we've used strings, that's arrays of characters, many times in this course already, I haven't really explained them in very much depth. And the reason for that is, in C, they're quite hard to understand. They really are more complicated to use than in many other languages. Now, the thing is, you can't really understand strings without also understanding addresses. That's in the computer memory. And pointers, which are variables that point to addresses in your computer's memory. Now, this is going to be quite tricky. If you've never used pointers before, then you will need to take some time to come to terms with understanding how this works. And that's what this step is all about. Put simply, you can think of the memory in a computer as a long list of locations, just as a long street in a town is also a long list of locations. Each location is the house. Well, in memory you don't have houses, but you have chunks of data, of storage areas, and each of those chunks of memory also has an address, just as a house has its own address. And a pointer is a pointer to one of those addresses. Now, let's think of how a house address works. Let's say I've got a house with the address as here, 23 Elm Street. That address marks the location of an actual physical house. But the address itself, as written on this envelope here, is clearly, it's not the house, it's just a reference to the house. You could think of this envelope with the address as being a reference to 23 Elm Street. And in computer terms, if the address referred to a piece of memory instead of a house, then something that referred to it, like this addressed envelope, would be a pointer. You could say that this envelope refers to 23 Elm Street. It tells the mailman where to go when you want to send some letter to 23 Elm Street, but it is not clearly actually the physical location where that house is built. Now, in modern programming languages, you may never have to get to grips with pointers in languages such as C# and Java and Pascal. You might never see them, or very rarely, but in C, there is no getting away from it. But no matter which language you use, the fact of the matter is that behind the scenes, there are pointers and there are memory addresses. They're used all the time, no matter what the language. It's just that some languages hide the details from you. C definitely does not. In fact, with C, to write programs of real power, you have to use pointers. You have to understand how addresses are referred to in your computer memory, and you will inevitably have to use pointers. That is a characteristic of the C programming language. Now, it's going to seem like hard work at first, but the effort pays off, because the fact of the matter is that once you've understood pointers, you will gain a deeper understanding of how the computers work, and that is going to be valuable in your programming career, whether you program in C or in some other language.